Hey, what's up, everybody? And apologies to anyone out there that got hit by what felt like a million attempts to go live today. Having a lot of the Ravens weren't the only poor performance today out there. I can admit it. Your boy on AP Entertainment had a pretty poor performance today as well. This was the first Ravens Steelers game in a couple of years, at least, that I thought had real significant stakes. And with that, I did go live to watch the fourth quarter with you guys, and then I was going to do post game with you guys in the chat. Unfortunately, my first video went about 10 minutes and was just talking to myself because I realized in the chat a subscriber let me know that they didn't have sound, and sure enough, for whatever reason, my computer and mic were not connecting as far as the live goes. So I had many live unlisted attempts after that to try to figure it out. I finally did. But then on that one, I realized that the sound quality still sucked, even though I was using my nice podcast microphone. Like, there was a lot of reverb and noise distortion, and I don't know what was going on. So then I ended that one. And then I went live from my phone. But I think the YouTube Live vertical brought in a bunch of random people that were speaking Spanish and stuff in the chat. I'm not going to lie, I got a little distracted, so I bailed on that too. I'm just going to end up doing this video selfie style. I'm not going to go too long. I just felt like I had to face the music after taking this L. Tip the cat to the Steelers. Pretty much all season, I predicted that this game would be like 13-12, no matter how good our offense looked in any of these games. Sure enough, 18-16. Steelers had just 6 field goals, along the same vibes as my 13-12 prediction. And they absolutely have Lamar's number. We can't deny it. Just like we make fun of Cincinnati for Lamar being 6-1 against Joe Burrow, the Steelers just dominate. They dominate us in the Lamar era. And it's kind of crazy. I think he's 1-4 against them now. If not, it's 1-4 or 1-5, and I know they said it during the game, but a lot has happened since then, especially with all this tech BS I was trying to figure out. But again, I had to face the music. Videos like last week, I had a lot of fun laying the Bengals to rest. So when we went into a game like this where we could have left in sole possession of first place, and instead we're now 2 games back, and the Steelers own the tiebreaker. Just a catastrophe in Pittsburgh today, but I feel like most of us probably saw it coming, or at least we knew it would be close, so we're not really all that disappointed. I thought it was crazy that we were 3-point favorites in this game. That means we would have been 6-point favorites at home? Nah, Vegas didn't have a read for this one. The fall of Justin Tucker before our very eyes is very depressing. I actually put on Facebook during the game. I'm not sure what's harder to watch right now, the random falling off a cliff of Justin Tucker or watching Mike Tyson fight on Friday. Both very hard to watch. He might just be toast. I'm hoping it's mental, because if it's mental, he could still get out of it. But if it's physical and he just doesn't have it anymore, Father Time hits everyone. And that'd be tough, because obviously we left 6 points out there on the field today that usually are pretty much automatic. Now, I'm not going to say we would have won with those field goals, because those were both in the first half. And I'm a big believer in sliding doors in sports. You can't take something from like the second quarter and say, oh, that affects the outcome, because a lot of things, play calling and whatnot, would have been different from that point. But still, in a game where Pittsburgh just had 6 field goals, those extra 6 points definitely would have been nice. But what a shame it was that my first live did not work out, because I started as soon as Marlon Humphrey had that interception against Russell Wilson in the red zone. Just a comically bad throw and bad decision. And they were just, from that point on, begging us to win. And we just couldn't. We just folded. Again, they got Lamar's number. Tip of the cap to the Steelers. You guys just, you handle us on the interior, and it just throws off everything. Because of that, we don't run as effectively. Then we give up on the run, and the secondary is just phenomenal. I mean, the Steelers, their defense has been balling like this all year, and this week it was just our turn. And for whatever reason, they have a scheme that doesn't really allow Lamar to go crazy. There were a couple instances, and I give Ian Eagle credit. To me, he's the best broadcaster in sports. There are a couple instances where Lamar could have taken off and gotten a couple first downs, but I'm not really going to complain because I'm also the guy who gets mad when Lamar has to run the ball 20 times for us to win, like it's a high school game. And in most of those instances, the throws downfield instead of running were pretty poor. But how most of the rest of the league isn't able to instill the same scheme that the Steelers have against us, I'm not really sure. Obviously, personnel plays a big factor, but there's no doubt the teams that play us the most seem to be able to defend us the best, other than the Bengals, whose defense is just trash. I also had a bone to pick with CBS earlier in the game because to me, this was the game of the week. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of buried the Bills after we ran through them on that Sunday night game, but they haven't lost since. And so I guess the Chiefs-Bills technically is probably the game of the week. And I hope that ends up being a close one because CBS was definitely hyping that up. They were calling it the game of the year so far. Game of the year. But I also understand they don't want to put a ugly Ravens-Steelers slugfest on the 4 o'clock slot, which I understand. And I'm not going to complain because, like I said, I think Ian Eagle's better. Tony Romo, I just find him funny. I like listening to him try to call a game at this point, so I usually get excited when we get Nance and Romo, but the Iron Eagle broadcast is definitely better. What else is there to say, man? I mean, Isaiah Likely had a great game. It was good to see him bounce back from the injury. Tough looks for Eddie Jackson and Marcus Williams, both getting benched for Ardarius Washington, who, I mean, that man plays hard. He looks about 5'9" out there. I don't know how much luck we're going to have with a 5'9" starting safety. Big contrast to Kyle Hamilton, who's 6'4". But Marcus and Eddie, what are you guys doing in practice? I mean, holy cow. That's a tough look for you guys. Well, just wanted to face some music. Shorter video than usual. Got to hold the L. Again, 7-4. Currently in the 6th playoff spot. This is the kind of the team that I thought we always had. Now, there was a point in the season where I thought we might even be worse than this, but 7-4 with this much talent is not good. I guess that the defense was better this week, although, you know, the Steelers really never let it up against anyone, so it's hard to give them too much credit. They claimed they worked on a lot of new schemes and they were going to fix some things this week. And visually, again, I'd say that was the case, but we'll just have to wait and see until we play an offense with a little more pop. Well, another loss to the Steelers, and they pretty much wrapped up first place with this one. You know what's funny? As I get older, I don't really hate the Steelers anymore. It's more of a respect. Again, tip the cap. You guys got us again. It's a heated rivalry, no doubt, especially on the field. They probably said 25 times. It's a good thing there wasn't a drinking game with this game, because if you had to drink for every time they talked about how it's the most physical game in sports, you'd probably be passed out right now, which actually, now that I think about it, I wish I was drinking this whole time and that I wasn't even conscious to make this video. That would probably be a lot better for my psyche. But we're just going to have to be in that wild card cheese now, and we're going to have to go out there and win a bunch of road games in the playoffs to try to make it to the Super Bowl, and that is not something that I would be all that confident in. And we'll see if the Chiefs can stay undefeated here against the Bills. But yeah, just to close, it's more of a respect thing for me against the Steelers. I mean, when they're this good against us all the time, it's kind of hard to have any other look at it. I have a coworker who's a big Steelers fan. He's from Pittsburgh, and he has the same sentiment towards me. Is like we talk football every week, and we both kind of hate the Ohio teams more. And it's the thing is because Bengals and Browns have been a joke for most of my life, other than the Andy Dalton, Chad Johnson years, and now the media will tell you the Bengals are awesome, but if you look at Burrow's record as a starter, it's just not the case. Barely over 500. But playing those fans and fan bases, it brings a little more juice, I'm not going to lie. And I've heard that from Steelers fans as well. So I'll go ahead and close on that. Obviously, we'll see the Steelers again. Maybe that game will mean something. Maybe we'll have an opportunity to fight back in the first place, but I doubt it. Because that defense, if they can stifle us like that, they're just going to pretty much stifle anyone. So maybe the tech will work out and I'll be able to go live like I wanted to at another time. I think next week's Monday night, so that actually would be a good opportunity to try again. So maybe I'll see you guys live in the fourth quarter or something. But thanks for joining me, Ravens fans. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Another disappointing performance here in 2024.